Technology and Future Challenges in Sexual Prevention by Thomas Berman. Introduction. With the increase of technology, we have a lot to worry about, whether that be the criminals using deepfakes or even just using the internet to allow them to have access to talk to these children. These offenders are using sites like TikTok and other social media sites to gain these children's trust and make it easier for them to access the children. It is up to law enforcement to figure out ways to stop these offenders. So being able to figure out what to do, when to do it, how to do it is crucial in preventing these sexual offenses online and throughout everything. However, introduction continued. However, many of these dangers in technology, it comes down to figuring out how to stop sex offenders. With the help of AI, we can catch these predators from committing when they commit these crimes. So being able to figure that is the best way we can do it. The powers of AI. With AI, it can be used to set traps for these offenders. That way, ensuring what we can catch, doing what we can to catch these offenders before they have a chance to hurt anyone. Whether that's a kid or an adult, AI is probably the strongest method and tool we can use that we can use to keep the community safe. But not only can it be used to set up offenders, like a sting operation, but it can also be used to track these offenders where they committing these acts at, and figuring out where they are, how they're doing it, and stockpile all the information into one big group of data. The powers of AI continuing. The way the AI that we have nowadays is a great benefit when it comes to actually making a difference and catching these sex offenses. Whether it is to, like I said, to monitor, monitor them, it also can make a fake person, which a deep fake of an individual, or even just a person that's not even a person. They can use that AI to make a whole profile, and they can use that to catch somebody in a sting operation, and which ultimately allows us to catch these predators before they even have a chance to hurt an individual, which is the whole point of this anyway, is to figure out ways that we can help better the community without allowing people to get hurt in whatever aspect that it may be in. Online monitoring. When trying to monitor these offenders and offenses, it is important that we use the tools that we have for us. In this case, being the internet. Watching these social media sites, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Roblox even, is a way that these offenders are getting to know these children, getting the children to trust them, even though they might not be doing anything at that moment yet to the kids. They are still grooming them, making them think that it is okay that they're talking to someone that's 30 years old and they're 12. But we have to ensure that these offenders aren't committing any type of sexual crime, whether it's online or offline, which we can figure it out. We can have people going through the dark web looking at all these sites, finding child pornography videos. If we were watching these sites all the time, we can use that information gathered to make sure that we are keeping these children safe on social media. As many of them are using social media to find their victims, unfortunately. But what we can do better as adults, we can teach our kids and our family about just how dangerous the whole thing is. Many of these kids and adults, they don't think, they just do what they want to do so they can live their life and not think of any of the negatives that might be accompanied by it. Online monitoring continued. It is important that we can constantly monitor these sites to help ensure that the safety of everyone who uses the internet, even if it comes at the cost of our privacy, letting them use AI to do better age verification. That way we can ensure a safer environment when it comes to the internet and not allowing adults to be able to message minors. They're allowing a complete age difference of all the groups that are involved. And that way it allows us to have a better chance to protect you, me, your sister, your mom, your grandma, your little cousin. Having the age verification and keeping everyone separate allows for a better process when it in safety. Making sure these kids know about the dangers of sex offenses online. The internet this nowadays may seem like a safe spot for the majority of the people, because you can do anything you want with it. You can go look up how to fly a kite, but there's also a really, really dangerous place. We need to make sure that when we are teaching them about the dangers, that they learn about how dangerous grooming is, what grooming is, how these offenders are coming at these children, allowing them to gain their trust, make them think that it is okay to, hey, just because I'm older than you doesn't mean we can't hang out, which is weird. But it's also that don't accept these gifts from these random people, even though like, oh, it's just a Fortnite skin, it's not that big a deal. That that's not okay. These adults are buying these little kids gifts to make them think that oh, I'm a nice person. You can trust me. I'm not going to do anything wrong to you. I don't need nothing in return. So why wouldn't you want that? But we have to make sure we're preventing them from even going to some of these sites, preventing them from putting themselves at a place to become a statistic, become a number. These offenders want one thing: is to get close to them. It is. It's scary, and we need to do what we can to protect them, protect our children, and teach them that hey, we can't be doing this. We have to focus on what we are doing now, so we can better prepare for it in the future. Is technology really that bad, or can it be used for good too? While most of these sex offenders are not finding their victims from online, they are doing it in the public, their next door neighbor or whatever. But that doesn't mean they're all just going to their next door neighbors, finding their little girl or little boy and doing that. A lot of them are using the internet, which this allows them to communicate with whoever, wherever. Don't make a time, place, whatever. They could be 1,000 miles away from you, 1,000 miles away from you, 10 miles away from you. That doesn't stop these offenders from being able to message these young kids. But that does not mean our laws should be less strict compared to uh, sex offenders. They are still talking to these underage kids, getting photos from these underage kids. That's why I think we need to have stricter laws and better policies when it comes to monitoring and keep everything evolving. As once it stops, if you stop evolving something, that's when they take the next step and get bigger and better stuff on their end. But we can use monitoring and prevention and the internet to help stop child sex trafficking, the production of child pornography, but making sure we doing what we can to teach these kids how to stay safe, the importance of staying safe online, making sure that we can use social media as it is one of our biggest assets when it comes to prevention and figuring out how these sexual crimes are being used and what we can do to stop them. Having the ability to find these people, these offenders, and it's beneficial because we can stop them. We can make these fake profiles just like they do. We can stop them and put them in a trap to protect the kids. We can fake the people out, but not having a real person there because we use AI and social media to create fake profiles to catch them, which is one of the best ways we can do it to not be able to have any issues when it comes to sexual offenses being made public. It, social media can also be used to help find these children who are being trafficked. They make one mistake, facial recognition nowadays, you can see their face, you can figure out the timestamp, the location, all of it. That is one of the most powerful uses of social media. Age verification. One of the biggest issues I see when it comes to social media and all these other online organizations and apps, there is no way to figure out how old an individual is. You can fake your profile picture, you can do whatever, but that allows minors and adults to communicate, have the ability to communicate with each other as they are able to see, able to talk to each other. But if we have an age verification system, then we can get rid of the disparities. We don't have to have an adult being able to talk to a minor, as it's just not there. And that's a great way, I think, will help prevent sexual offenses from even occurring in the first place. Online. The dangers of technology. Not only can the internet be used by these offenders to gain access to these minors, it can also be used in other sorts of crimes. It could be used to steal information, but it can also be used to figure out where you live. If you put something on, let's say Facebook, you have your location, you have your job, you have whatever. They can figure out where you live from all that, and that's scary, especially if you have a little kid and whatever. So making sure we can teach these kids about the dangers of it can help prevent them from making a mistake that might cost them their lives, might cost them their future. It could help prevent them from doing something that no one wants to have happen to a child. Evolving technology. With the ever-changing world of technology, it is important that we are teaching and looking out for each other to help prevent each other from giving out information about themselves. That is included from everything, not just sex crimes, but giving out too many details about yourself, how old you are, where you live. This is, I mean, we have to continue to monitor what we do online to prevent us and others from being able to use what we put against us to hurt us. But that way we can still enjoy the internet and use it for what it's meant to do. Privacy. If we want to make sure that the internet is safe, then we have to give up some of our privacy. Just like the age verification. If we do something to prevent the overlaps in age, while it's still a private thing. We need to figure out how to do it so we're not breaking the laws, but keeps us safer and everyone safer. Even though it sucks, we lose some privacy. It is what it is. Safety. We must do a better job at teaching about the dangers that comes with internet. As many of these offenders are making fake profiles, that way they can seem younger so they can build trust to these minors. Teaching these kids how just because they look their age or say they're that old, they're not that old. And sometimes someone adds them on social media does not mean that, hey, you know this person. It's okay, we can talk. Global cooperation. Many of these top ranking countries around the world, such as CIA and Interpol, they come together to make these specialized groups so they can continue to figure out what to do with these offenders. Cybersecurity availability. If we want to stop these sex crimes from ever even happening, we have to make sure we can get this information out to everybody, the AI treatment. But not all these groups can use it. They don't have the monetary funding to be able to do some of these things that we all very much want. And we need to do more together so we can stop these crimes from occurring. Effectiveness. While these things have made it easier for law enforcement when it comes to tracking these offenders online, there still needs to be a lot more done, ensuring that we can stop online sex trafficking and sex crimes. Like I previously stated, it is important that we change how we feel about our privacy when it comes to being online, like given the age, keeping minors with minors and adults with adults to help ensure that there is no way that a person can be able to message a child. And we have to make sure we always keep evolving and never stop changing our technology, keep evolving it so we can stay ahead of the criminals. Summary. Being able to use technology not only for the bad things like it is used for like deep fakes and AI, it also can be used for like AI to help catch the criminals. And that's why I think it's crucial that we can do more when it comes with making sure this equipment's available for everywhere, the country, the small cities, the towns, keeping everyone safe from these offenders. Summary. These agencies all across the world are working nonstop, making sure that they are going into these chat rooms with these AI, looking for these innocent children who are being trafficked, as well as making sure they are taking down any of the material that they might see so others can't use it. Which, while it's not a perfect system, it is a step in the right direction when it comes to using technology to stop these offenders from committing more violent acts. Call to action. No matter what, we need to continue to provide a newer and better involvement in technology for law enforcement to help stop these offenders and offenses from ever occurring. It is the only way that we can stop these offenders as they get newer and better tech all the time, just like we do, just like the police do. All of this happens around the country, unfortunately, every single day. That is why we have to continue to catch these offenders and use what they have access to, but make it better for easier controlment and finding of these offenders. References. Thank you. You have a wonderful day.